That's right, it's March, and we're shooting a football video. To my right is CEO and President Dustin McGonigal Barkley.
What?
And to my right, and I am Brandin, who I have no title because Dustin thinks I shouldn't have a title.
What a great
That's
opening.
what he does.
And he also thought it would be fun to wear the same shirt, which I don't really understand.
I said we look professional. He wanted to change it.
There's
I thought there was nothing
colors.
wrong with, all I said is there's nothing wrong with us wearing the same shirt.
And
It looks
I did
good.
it
We
just
look
so that everyone else could say
spiffy.
it looks silly, but whatever.
Does it look silly that we're both wearing colored blue shirts?
Yes.
I don't believe so.
If you want,
Hold on. This football is specifically about Brandin Cooks to the New England Patriots. Go ahead. Talk about what you want to talk about now.
if you're trying to work on your fantasy football skills on the offseason, click on the link in the card or in the description. Download our app. It's mainly for beginners and intermediate, but there's something in there for everyone, and we're working on a PDF version so that it'll be accessible for everyone. Should be out later this offseason. So Cooks to New England.
There's definitely great tips in there. There's tips that I had in there that, Dustin, expert, definitely learned a lot from, I feel.
Sure.
So anyway, Brandin Cooks to New England. The first thing that I found amusing about this is Brandin Cooks, spelled two different ways, was trending on Twitter right after it happened. So everybody was talking about this. It was nuts. Obviously, him going there is a big deal. And the initial fantasy, thoughts or community was kind of like, is he a top 3 pick or a top 3 wide receiver? Is he going in the first round? Oh my God, he's going to be amazing. And I think what they're thinking is he's Randy Moss 2.0 when Randy Moss joined and had over, 20 touchdowns, went nuts. I don't believe that's the case. So does it help Tom Brady? Absolutely. But here's the thing with Cooks. You still have Gronk there. You still have Edelman there. You still have the running backs there. You still have Belichick as the coach that game plans based on the talent that he has and the defense he's facing. So I don't think he's going to be featured in a ton. Now, he is entering his 4th year. This is a great breakout prime type, and for him breaking out would be ridiculous because he had almost 80 catches last year, over 1,100 yards, and 8 touchdowns. But how much better is he really going to get is where I'm having some trouble with this. He went from Drew Brees to Tom Brady. Drew Brees isn't a schmuck.
He's pretty good.
Last I checked, he can throw a football around. And again, it's a lot of game flow with the Patriots. Now, I do think he does have a little bit better. There will be a little bit of a bump. But is he a first rounder? I don't believe that's the case, personally.
Yeah, I mean, that's where it gets tough. I mean, we agree it does help his value, but not a ton. But with him leaving the Saints, where does that leave Drew Brees and the rest of the players out there? They still got Willie Snead. He's serviceable. He'll get a little bit of a bump. They just got Ted Ginn Jr., who I think is kind of interesting because he did have some really good games with Carolina. He is a bit of a roller coaster, but on the Saints offense, as a deep threat guy, I mean, I think he's instantly kind of in the wide receiver 3 discussion. It will be a roller coaster ride again, but will he have a couple 150-yard, 2-touchdown games? I mean, more than likely.
Will Dustin want him in our sleeper video or deep sleeper video is all that I'm contemplating. I can already tell.
I mean,
it is interesting. It's interesting. No, I hear you.
He just, it seemed like he was doing it every other week for Carolina down the stretch last year, but he's interesting. But the big winner in general with Cooks leaving is Michael Thomas. I mean, as a rookie last year, over 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns. I think he instantly moves up to probably being an early 2nd-round pick. I kind of compare it to Mike Evans when he burst on the scene a few years ago in terms of just that rookie season and everyone just getting really excited about his potential upside and what he can do. Obviously he let down during his sophomore year, but then he had a solid year last year. But I kind of compare it to that in terms of just early 2nd round. You're gambling that there's no sophomore slump, but with what he's left with the Saints and how much they're going to rely on him in the red zone, huge upside.
Who are you taking, Thomas or Cooks? It's pick 16.
It's funny because I think it's before the trade. I think they're going to get picked right next to each other, and after the trade,
but like a round later,
I think they're going to get picked right. So I think they're kind of maybe early to mid 3rd, before the trade. But now I think they're both like early 2nd. I think when you're looking at, maybe the Des Bryants of the world, kind of that realm. I think AJ Green might be the cutoff in terms of where you're ranking him after. But I think I'm taking Thomas just because of the upside. I think he's a little bit more fun just because of the unknown. I think he'll be more consistently targeted in the red zone.
I hear you. In a PPR, I think I'm taking Thomas as well, which I'm going to pat ourselves on the back because everyone's talking about Cooks to New England and that fancy. And we're taking the other angle of it because we're digging a little deeper for you out there. But the thing about Cooks is that ceiling, I think, is higher than Thomas just in the small chance it is like a ridiculous season where he's featured on the offense. But I am still taking Thomas personally as well.
If Edelman or Gronk get hurt, it's just, if there's, he could have, I think Cooks overall, yes, he might have a slightly higher ceiling, but I think Thomas might be a little bit safer.
I think so too. I think Thomas is a better player actually even.
They're just
Thomas
very
is sick.
high-powered offense, but they do both tend to like to spread the ball around, but I just think Thomas is going to be consistently asked to do more. But when you look at the landscape of last year with all the disappointing wide receivers between like the 7th and 15th pick in drafts, and that's where they're going to be going, maybe people will be leaning more towards the LaShawn
But that's
McCoys.
what's interesting. They jump those guys now, right? Based on this, I think both of these guys jump the Allen Robinsons, the Hopkins, the Dez Bryant, maybe not Dez, but they hop over them now. But there's still, some uncertainty there for him.
Yeah.
How many catches did Thomas have last year?
I think it was around 90.
Okay.
It's a pretty good year.
Buck 10, something like that this year. I mean, his targets might be ridiculous, and I love me some targets.
Brent loves some targets. So, like this video, subscribe to our channel, leave comments, let us know what you think. Do you think we're right in terms of their value, in terms of early second? Does that seem right? But we're loving all of the content that we're getting out of all these trades. It's so much stuff to talk about.
Free agency. Football is so fun. If I didn't give it to you in the opening, I'm excited now again. We're going to be shooting other videos about all these free agency moves, so make sure you subscribe, get the bell, and if you have a keeper question, dynasty question, things like that, leave it in the comments on YouTube because we listen, we hear ya. We're going to answer comments in the YouTube. Man, I messed that up. I thought I had something and it got bad. Almost as bad as Dustin wearing a goofy shirt whenever I already had this on and told him to change.
Terrible.